Welcome back to the X-Files. This is Exhibit M. Exhibit M is the man who tried to kill me, not metaphorically, not emotionally, but physically. He told me, if I can't have you, no one will. And for the first time, I believed him. I met him in 1994, not that long after I had broken up with Exhibit E. He had already seen me well before I'd seen him, come to find out. And when he finally approached me, it was really cute, really intentional, really protective. Since I had no boundaries, I let him move in with me. First mistake. He didn't want men looking at me. He did not like how I dressed, even though I did not dress really provocative. I had recently lost weight, so I wore clothes that looked cute on me. He did not like when I stood my ground. He used to wear these really thick rings, like Super Bowl championship rings. And a lot of them had the jewels missing from them. And I did not know why he did that. And that should have been something we discussed, but I didn't. I'm in love. So my mother even told me it's something off about him, something I don't like. But I was wearing rose-colored glasses. Our very first altercation began actually at the mall, Union Station in St. Louis, Missouri. One compliment from a man to him on me turned into the silent treatment on the way home. The guy got the nerve to say, "Hey man, if this is your lady, she is very beautiful." Instead of him taking the compliment like, "Yeah, I got a beautiful woman on my arm," he was ready to fight the man, literally fight him. I'm disturbed, what is going on? He stopped talking to me. We make it home. I get in the elevator. He puts his hand in my face. I swat it away. The next thing I knew, I wake up in my apartment on the floor, bleeding in my nice white dress. He knocked me unconscious. He was looking at me, staring at me in my eyes, trying to help me up, talking about, "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hit your pretty face." That's when I realized the rings he wore weren't for fashion. Those jewels were makeshift brass knuckles, and he hit me with them. I was confused. I was shocked. I did not know what in the world I did to bring this on, but it had to be something that I did that caused his anger, that caused his frustration, that caused him to put his hands on me. But something rose up in me that day. We fought for an hour. I was not a fighter. I was afraid of conflict. But that day, I refused to die. We'd had more and more fights from that day on. I had to watch what I said, how I dressed, how I looked, how I came across. I had gotten tired. It had become too much. I had missed work a couple of times because, as you can see, I don't know if you can see this really well, but this print, if you can see it, that was from our first fight. And he used the rings, of course, and cracked this all open. My whole face was swollen. I looked like I had undergone plastic surgery. I bit out both sides of my cheek, but one side much worse than the other. Black eyes. I'd been hit with clippers, hair clippers. I'd found the strength to try to leave him alone. I put him out of my apartment. I'd gotten a restraining order and then tried to live my life as normal and peacefully as I could. He called me because he had some of my paperwork and he wanted to return it. I knew that was a bad idea, but I needed it. So I was like, okay, we're just out in front of my apartment. There was also security where I live, so I thought it was all right. I got in the car with him. He decides to drive off. I'm a little scared, but I'm like, it should be fine because we're done, and I stood my ground. And that's when he said the words, if I can't have you, no one will. Thought that was it, but I wasn't done. He started a really bad argument. He was driving with one hand and beating me with the other. How do you do that? That I know of, a lot of men can't multitask, but this day he did. Some kind of way, as I was bent over, he found a way to also open my door, and he pushed me out of a moving car. He pulls over and I guess comes back to finish me off. When he tried to comfort me, I maced him. I ran because I didn't want him dead, but I needed to live. We were together 2 years. I had a lot of baggage after that. For years, I flinched when men raised their voices, moved their hands quickly. I watched exits. I questioned my clothes. I thought I was hard to love. My takeaway: when you bind yourself to someone that God never assigned to you, you inherit battles that were never meant for you to fight. My message to women: if you're in abuse, you're not stupid. You're trauma bonded. And when you can safely leave. I stayed silent because I was ashamed. I couldn't tell anybody because I had a lot of explaining to do. How do you say you're in love, this person loves you, you love them, and they're beating you? Tell somebody, anybody, but tell somebody. Yeah, that was Exhibit M, and I lived. I'm alive and well to tell the story. I hope you'll stick around because I have more X-Files coming. Stories of survival, stories that show I made it. And if I made it, you can too. I'll see you next time.